Steve and Jill here.
Hello.
Welcome to the Land Academy Show, entertaining land investment talk. I'm Steven Jack Butala.
And I'm Jill DeWit, broadcasting from sunny Southern California.
Today, Jill and I talk about the episode titled, What We've Learned in 900 Freakin Episodes.
I would like to say, Steven, I've learned a lot about you.
My prediction is that Jill's going to cry just at some point during this episode.
No, maybe.
Before we get into it, it's actually truly amazing.
It is.
It is truly amazing that we have done 900 podcast episodes.
I remember when we started on this path, and our friend said, what do you guys have to talk about? Back then it was 7 days a week.
Aren't you going to run out of stuff to talk about?
Exactly.
Land? Who wants to talk about land?
Especially 900 shows.
We don't talk about land that much.
True.
I like to think it's slightly entertaining.
I like to think so.
You know what I like to think we talk about? Running a business. Because that's really what this is about.
True.
You know, and I've been kicking around the idea of, it's technically called, what Land Academy is. It's called a lifestyle subscription/membership group. That's a technical term. Some people call it guru. Some people, I hate all that. It's all silly.
Yeah.
It's a lifestyle group. And so, you know, there is no program out there that teaches anyone how to do a lifestyle group, how to run a lifestyle group that I could find. So I've been kicking the idea around about doing it because we need something else to do.
Yeah, that's a great idea. Let's take on something new.
So, just like the land business, I had to fail at it, and fail at it, and fail at it, and fail at it. I mean, I had to learn how to use a camera.
Yeah.
I didn't have any idea what audio equipment was back then.
Right.
I still don't really. We just buy our way out of this. We buy the most expensive stuff we can and hope for the best.
And figure it out. And log a lot of YouTube hours. That's what you do, and it's good. I saw someone, actually, that I thought about I should try to get that for you. Someone had a certificate on their wall that said, graduate of YouTube University.
I wonder if that's a thing.
I think that's cool. It should be.
I bet there's a thing like that.
Yeah, it's really good.
It's not going to help.
All right.
Jill's the reason that this all doesn't look stupid. It's not. I was just telling her. She saves all this stuff. Otherwise, I'd just be some schmo, which I am, just some schmo.
That's a weird guy.
We're doing real estate deals. YouTube's packed full of guys like me.
Could you imagine?
Talking about real estate deals. And you probably have seen none of them.
I don't know what you're talking about. Thank you.
Before we get into it, let's take a question posted by one of our members on the landinvestors.com online community. It's free.
Okay. Mark asks, what is the key to maintaining a successful podcast schedule like Land Academy? Well, first of all, there's a lot of crying. There's a lot of arguing.
I was wondering if you
might involve heavy drinking.
I was wondering if you're going to tell the truth. Really tell the truth. We really need to tell the truth about this.
All right, I'll tell the truth.
About this whole show.
You know what? It's hard.
Because they asked it.
It's hard. I'll be totally honest. You gotta. It's like we walk away now. What we do is fun, and we get to talk about what we want to talk about, right? So this is good. We get to pick our own topics. No one is telling us what to do. No one's paying us to do it a certain way. We get to run the show. So that makes it amazingly fun and easy. And we look at actors. I'm like, gosh, talk about what they have to do. And they're sending somebody else's message and what they have to bring to the table and the energy and the excitement every day when they're making a movie or a show or something. I'm like, wow, that's hard.
It's draining.
And they didn't get to write the script. Someone hands them a script. They get to memorize it, good, bad, or otherwise. That's the script. And they have to do it. Word. Yeah. And so I'm like, oh, that's got to be hard for them. So it's easier for us. But, in the beginning, for me, I'll be honest, it was hard for me to get this in my head and it was 7 shows, and I can't remember how many days did we do 7 at a time. I mean, we went, let's record on Sundays, let's record on Tuesdays, let's record on Mondays, let's record on whatever. We had to probably took us 2 years of moving the schedule around to find one day that we could kind of stick with.
That's right.
And then it was in and then solidified, and now we know it's Thursdays, and we move things around Thursdays. I'm just not available Thursday mornings, and everybody knows that for our recording. And we don't record that far out, which I kind of like. Remember, we've had like people back
6 months ahead.
We've been on shows, on their shows, and had on our shows. And I was thinking of John Lee Dumas, and that was him. He was like, I've so far recorded ahead. But what he does is not as a current event, like what we're doing, like right now today. Because if I change and we start a new company, which very well could happen, next week, I want to talk about it next week. So, and I've got things I'm going to talk about towards the end of this week. They're going to happen starting on Friday. So I want it to be fresh and current. So that means we got to really be available, on our toes. So I guess the question was about, what does it take? It takes commitment. It takes patience. It takes love. It takes understanding.
It takes love to have a podcast?
Oh, yeah. You got to really, deep down in your soul, love the person you're doing a show with, because there's going to be times you just don't agree. And you just want to go, you see topics different ways. It's when you do it with a partner, it's different than it's just you're doing your own show. I think it's harder.
When you're done with all your touchy-feely stuff,
sorry,
you're
going to give me the Steve answer. All right.
Actually answer the question.
Well, I was telling. Okay, so I'm telling the energy and the emotional and the inspirational, that side of it. You can talk about the technological side of it, because that's you. Go for it.
You need to have what's called a preamp to a USB into a computer. You need to have XLR microphones. We use these, obviously, with these Sennheiser NFL type things, which people laugh at us all the time. There's a comment on YouTube recently. The guy said, "You guys look like you're flying a 747."
I was going to say, or calling the game. Let's see that play again, shall we?
I've failed at it 100 times. And finally, I actually use a Focusrite 8i8 second generation preamp that's got its own power supply. And these are Sennheiser, if you can see. Probably, maybe not. They don't make these anymore, but you can get the newer version.
Yes.
Jill uses a real microphone and for her stuff, and it's just as good. I think the sound's about the same.
Yeah.
But the whole key to getting a podcast done like this is to be incredibly organized. So the show topics are done a week in advance. They're done on Tuesday morning at 9 o'clock. Sometimes Jill helps and sometimes she doesn't. Depends on what's going on for her day. We record Hell or High Water at 9 in the morning on Thursday morning. And we get all 4 or 5 shows done, depending if there's a guest. I don't have a problem getting here at 9. Jill does. I mean, this is show 900.
Hence the tears.
I'm going to say she's been on time maybe 20% of the time. Maybe it's 9:03. So I'm from Detroit, that have this Midwest background. I'm just going to show up for stuff.
Threw me under the bus.
I'll show up if I'm having a heart attack. I'm going to get these shows done. And we haven't missed it. I think we've missed 2 shows in the last since 2015.
Right.
Where we just ran, we ran an old show in that slot.
Right.
Nobody seemed to even mind.
Yeah.
Even know the difference, actually. So, and then the production of this, I'm not exaggerating, takes 15 minutes a week because we've got it down. We use Adobe Audition. If you're watching on YouTube, you can see it here on the screen. Mm-hmm. And our file structure's completely consistent. And then we use Amazon S3 as a storage mechanism for the files, video and audio files. And we're lucky enough now that we have a producer who I train personally, and Carla is her name. She produces the audio and the video. But I've got it set up so that's all. I mean, it couldn't be easier. Mm-hmm. So the whole production, all week, it takes 2 or 3 hours to record from 9 to, let's say, noon on Thursday. And then the post-production takes less than a half hour to get the whole thing done and load it up for the week. So we got it down. What does it take to keep this schedule? It's actually a lot easier than you think. It's just maybe 3 hours of a week of work with 2 people, me and the producer.
What about me?
You're the talent.
Oh, thanks. I show up.
Again, Jill's here to make this. She pulls this off. Otherwise, it would just be stupid. It would be like, well, no, I'm not going to listen to this guy talk about himself and his deals that he's doing.
Again. Thank you very much.
And I'm happy to report we have a ton of listeners, way more than I ever thought we would ever have.
Exactly. Thank you.
So Yeah, thank you. And it's free. That helps, I'm sure.
Mm-hmm.
And we just added the video part, which actually, quite honestly,
A couple months ago, yeah.
If it was just an audio only, that would take no time at all. The video's the part that takes some time.
Thank you.
Today's topic, what we learned in 900 episodes. This is the meat of the show.
Well, we just covered part of it.
Yeah.
What we learned in 900 episodes. A, how to do an episode.
Yeah.
How to run a podcast. How to create it. How to schedule it. How to get into a system. And how to show up every day.
You know what I really learned, honestly?
What?
I mean, I learned how important it is for our group and other people in the land business to hear from us every day.
Oh.
I grossly underestimated this when we started it. I thought it was more of like a marketing thing.
Yeah.
And it ended up not being that at all.
No.
It ended up really being like just they
helpful.
check in with us. Yeah.
Informational.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
that's the whole
exactly.
thing. People every day are like, oh, they listen to us because they get something like, oh, now I know when that comes up how to handle it.
Mm-hmm.
Because of the questions and our topics and that. We really are helping.
Yeah.
It's really good. I know people that, have said that, hey, I learned how to do it just listening to you guys, and they did it for a while. Actually, and I think that's one of the greatest things, too. A lot of people learned how to do it, just the basics, just from listening to us, went out and did some deals and like, oh, okay, now I'm joining Land Academy because now I need the tools, basically, and I need a little more help. I need to up my game. I'm growing my business. We can help with all that. So that's really cool.
When we launch House Academy here in a couple months-ish, we will have a House Academy podcast also.
Yep.
I'm not sure. It won't be 5 days a week. It'll probably be maybe two episodes a week or some version of that. I'm not exactly sure yet. Might even be like these are Monday through Friday. It might be Saturday and Sunday that will air those 2 episodes.
Oh, that would be kind of cool.
Yeah.
Oh, I kind of like that.
We'll figure it all out.
Good.
I expect that to, it might even just be audio in the beginning.
Yeah, I
I haven't decided. This is not the last show that we'll do.
No.
And when I was in high school, I was invited to talk on a radio. There's no podcast back then; it was all radio. And I was invited to talk on a live radio show. And I was.
What was
hooked.
it about?
It was about. I was actually the class president, and my sister, who's 2 years younger than me, 2 grades younger, was also the class president. So they interviewed us together on a local radio station and to talk about what that was all about.
In Detroit.
Yeah, and I was hooked.
Yeah.
I mean, and then I had a radio show.
Was it
all throughout-
Detroit or
throughout
Ann Arbor
college?
station? Or was it high school?
It was high school.
Oh, okay. So it wouldn't have been in Detroit. Okay, good.
It was in Detroit, and Ann Arbor's where Michigan is, and I graduated from Michigan State. So get to know your life partner, Joe.
I know that. That's why I was wondering, was it high school or college? I know where you went to high school. I've seen your high school. I know right where that is in Grosse Pointe. Thank you very much.
Michigan
I can draw a picture of it.
Not in Ann Arbor. Ann Arbor has nothing to do with anything in my history.
Sorry, wrong. Lansing. Sorry.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Sorry.
It's really fun to make fun of you on the air.
I know. It took me a long time to not call it Michigan and have to say Michigan State. Excuse me. I have to add the extra word there. Green.
What did you learn in 900 episodes, honestly? Clearly not how to be on time.
I learned a lot about myself. I learned a spiritual side that I didn't know I had.
What?
I'm just kidding. It's the spiritual side, meaning I learned how to not strangle my podcast partner when they're making fun of me for being late again, because it's a lot of work.
Yep.
I learned it's a lot of work, but it's really, really worth it. And I think 900 shows later, I kind of learned that I did not realize how much people enjoy the show.
Yeah.
And it's a normal thing that people get when I talk to people on the phone. They're like, "Oh my gosh, I listen to you." I'm like, "That's so cool. I love it." They really do listen, and they get something out of it. And I'm just having so much fun. What did I learn?
How do you think we can improve this show?
How can we improve this show? That's a good question.
Our numbers consistently go up. And we don't ever haven't spent $1 of advertising for the show.
Do we want to do it? I mean, all I can think of is like change up the location, but we've done that in the past, and that kind of didn't go that well. It was hard to film on location. In case you didn't notice, we're now back in the studio, and we keep it in the studio, and we've upped our audio, I think, and everything is as good as it's going to be. It's awesome.
Yep.
So the one I could think of is location now and then, but that's hard.
It really is.
I know. So
I
don't know if anybody really cares.
Literally up on the roof of this office building just now, scoping out a location, an exterior location, because the office building that we're in is right on the ocean,
Right.
and I think it would be pretty cool.
It would be cool. Well, think about every show that you see on TV, television, like the Ellen. I mean, even the Ellen show and every show, they always have this.
Yeah.
It's the same in-studio background. They may have a big monitor behind them and they change different images out, but it's still in the studio, I think, for a reason.
Yeah, the sound, you can just control everything.
Yeah, Ellen could be running around all over in a different beach every day, but she's not doing that.
Right.
So, I get it.
I mean, content-wise, how do you think we could improve it?
You know
we could
what?
talk about the deals that we're doing, but I think that would get so boring so fast.
Well, you know what's interesting? I have asked, and I'm going to ask again right now. I have asked our listeners, that would be you, what do you want us to talk about? And I don't get much.
Yeah, I don't get it either.
So if
I've done that too in the past.
I really don't get anything back. So either they forget.
Maybe they don't care.
They don't care, or we're doing a pretty good job. I choose to go with I'm doing a pretty good job. But I'm going to put it out to you again right now. If there's something you want us to talk about, send it our way. You could send it via social media, send it to my team directly, support@landacademy.com. Dream it up. You have some questions you want answered?
Yeah.
Do you have a topic you'd really like us to dive into? A week of topics you really like us to dive into? We'll do it. We're happy to. It'd be kind of fun. Hey, 900 shows in, we'll still come up with them, but it'd be easier if you helped us and told us what you really wanted to hear. So
we should do a show called Working with Your Spouse. I think we've done that in the past.
We have done that. But it's always a good topic, I think.
Honestly, we figured that out. It was pretty rough for a while in the very beginning. A lot of it's because we just didn't know what we were doing.
It's true.
We really have these processes down, the audio video stuff specifically. We have a full-time camera person and video editor. So it takes all of the real hard work off of our plates so that we can actually provide the content instead.
Yeah.
And so it just seems that we get along a lot better now at work.
You know what's crazy? 900 episodes in, I don't see this stopping.
I don't either.
Like ever. I can't believe it's hard to say this. I know we're going to be here for episode 1,000. That's too easy. That's an easy promise.
The learning curve is done, right?
Yeah.
Well, if it's too easy for us to just add another show or change this one. For a while it was a Jack and Jill show.
Yeah.
It was originally the Land Academy show, and then it was like, I don't know what it was.
It was the Cash Show from Land Show first.
That's right.
First it was Cash Show from Land Show, then Land Academy, then Jack and Jill, and now we're back to Land Academy.
No matter what we call it, it's really the Jill show.
Oh. Thanks a lot. That's good. So what do you want to do differently now, Steven, on show 901?
So here's the thing. Every time I ask the question we just asked, like, hey, what do you want to hear? What would you like us to talk about? I get 50% of the people answer, like, I really wish you guys would just be a little bit more serious about this real estate piece. And then the other 50% say, I wish you guys were a little bit more entertaining. They're too serious. And I end up doing nothing.
Right. Well, okay. They just canceled each other out. I don't know what to say. That's true. That's good.
I know this for sure. This thing really worked. This Land Academy thing. We have, on a weekly basis, people are now quitting their really good jobs.
Yep.
We have a group of people that are really, really bright in their own right already before they get to us, in very professional careers and like aerospace engineers and stuff.
It's awesome.
And that makes us, our land operation has gotten way more sophisticated and better because of Land Academy. I mean, that's the net effect, and it makes all of this work and this learning curve and the risk that we took worth it.
Mm-hmm.
Specifically, the deal funding thing that we started only 3 weeks ago. 3 weeks ago. I mean, I just checked today, we've created $1 million of equity in the deals that have been submitted in the last 3 weeks.
Yep.
That is just, it's not ended, it's the middle of January.
I know.
It's amazing.
I'm excited.
Well, you've done it again. You spent another 15 minutes or so listening to the Land Academy Show, episode 900. Join us next time where we talk about Land Academy deal funding. explained.
And we answer your questions posted on our online community, landinvestors.com. It's free.
You are not alone in your real estate ambition. How many times I've said that?
Huh.
More than 900.
You know what's great? Actually, you're not stumbling. Remember the times there were a few times that we'd still get the words wrong, and trip on ourselves, like show 700. I'm like, really? I can't say that. I'm all tongue-tied. We would do that. It's kind of funny. It's good.
We've had a lot of different versions of scripts over the year. This is a good one.
It works.
It's faster. It just moves faster.
It's efficient.
Yeah.
Speaking of efficient, wherever you are listening or watching, please rate us there. It really counts. We are Steve and Jill.
Information
and inspiration
to buy undervalued property.